Hello and a warm welcome to everyone. Let's chat and paint with acrylic gouache together. This vlog is inspired by comments and questions I received over the last month. Also, you wished for a painting process video, so I answer the questions throughout the video while I am painting and take you with me to my last week's vlog. Okay, have fun! Hello lovely people, how are you? I hope that you are fine. For those who don't know me, my name is Kata. Over the last month I received so many nice and lovely comments. Thank you so much for every kind word. And you know, when I read this I recognize that making those videos isn't a silly thing to do, but it also gives hope and relaxing time to other people. I'm always overwhelmed by your lovely and kind comments, so thank you so much for this. And two almost like heartbreaking comments make me think making those videos here, spite of this world situation we are in right now, it sparks peace and hope, and this was so beautiful to read, so thank you very much. And I think this is at the same time a very heartwarming reaction to my videos, but also I find it so sad that you even have to write this. Thinking of this, I wanted you to know that there is always hope for this world, for humanity. I think we all can do something about this, less or more, but we all can spread love, be nice to each other, and also protect our planet from the harm humanity is doing. Simply be there for other people and be nice to one another and kind. I'm glad that this here, my channel is a peaceful place, and if you want you can comment down below how you're feeling about this, and yeah, share your hopes and fears in the comments. I think this was also one of the main reasons I wanted to make videos with the theme Find Love in Creation, because this is worth spreading and this is worth living, and through art and creativity make something good in this world. So the questions you asked, I parted them in 3 sections. Questions about art, about YouTube, and the third one are personal questions. So get cozy and grab maybe something to be creative yourself, or drink a nice cup of tea. Yeah, while I answer the questions, I'll also show you what I was painting this week. How did you learn to paint with gouache? I was influenced by other creators and artists on YouTube, showing their painting process and their sketchbooks in which they painted with gouache. So my husband kindly gifted me gouache paints, and I'm a good autodidactic learner. So really I think it was a thing of trial and error, and I simply painted with the paints. And maybe it is a bit underwhelming, but I simply tried out how to paint with those paints and discovered that I really liked it. I think my greatest tip to learn something new is to feel this passion when you are starting out with something new and finding really the beauty in maybe this new medium or this thing you want to paint. When I am learning something new, I really am obsessed with this subject and I want to learn more about it. I think I learn the most with YouTube videos. What advice would you give to beginning gouache painters? First question you can ask yourself if you want to paint with acrylic gouache or normal gouache, which is more like watercolors. More opaque than watercolors, but also water soluble after drying. And with acrylic gouache you can put on more layers without reactivating the layer underneath. So it really depends on which painting technique you will prefer in the end. Also, my tip would be try it and let's see what do you prefer. I really recommend only buying the basic colors in the beginning. This is the cheapest option, but also you can learn the most doing this by mixing colors and also seeing which colors you like, and also to not get overwhelmed with so many painting tubes. And then really play around and try it and paint. Also, I never did this, but saw it in other artists' sketchbooks. Make some patterns to try out the paint, certain color combinations. As an autodidactic person, I always think it's so cool to use all the free resources that you can find online and simply observe how others are painting and see what of this you like and what you don't like. Do you have any tips? Yes, I recently got this. To everyone who wants to learn about color, and yeah, maybe to everyone in general, I recommend this color wheel. I personally struggle with color combinations and color mixing, and I tend to buy all the different colors in different tubes, but I think one of the basics or basic exercises you can do is precisely to mix your own colors from the basic colors, and how to learn this. And this color wheel is so cool because it also has contrast or neighbor colors, which all make different effects and look different together. And this wheel will help you to find out which combinations you could use in a painting. Another thing I would recommend to everyone painting with acrylic gouache is this wet palette. This wet palette for me was a life-changing thing because I got so annoyed by every time cleaning my palette with acrylics, and that they dry so fast, the acrylic gouache. With this palette you put a wet foam underneath the palette paper, and then you can paint for days with the same acrylics. I don't have many brushes, but the few I have, they are, I think, good quality. So what I learned the hard way was to clean the brushes immediately after using them. What really helps, even if the brush is dry, is this brush cleaner. Another tip for using gouache would be you have to find out the different consistencies of paint, how much water you would use in your paintings, and also what type of layering of the paint you would like. There are different painting techniques from light to dark or dark to light and so on. So yeah, maybe investigate how you could do this. What tips do you have for using pastels? I personally only am using oil pastels at the moment. I can recommend to prepare the surface you are working on. I must say I'm really at the beginning of my oil pastel journey, but what I learned until now was that it is good to use a primer or an oil underneath when you're painting on a wooden surface. And what also I learned that oil pastels also dry very slowly, and that you really should use a fixative spray, and this also dries very slowly. I learned it the hard way because I got the paintings to the market. There I realized that the packaging left a few marks on my little oil pastel paintings. You should really use fixative and let it dry significantly longer time. What resources do you think are helpful in learning about using pastels? There are 2 YouTube channels I really recommend. The first one is Lena Rivo. You can also subscribe to her email list and get a free guide to oil pastels. This is a really good guide and I could recommend it. The second one is Misako Florin. She uploaded a very informative and really beautiful basic oil pastel video. Also, I recommend to learn by watching. You can look for a style and motive you would like to paint and ask yourself if you want to paint more abstract things or portraits. I really like observing how other artists layer the paint and which color combination they use, and then again finding out what works for you. So what is your favorite thing to paint? Maybe you can guess by my videos. I think that our garden and nature is a never-ending source of inspiration. Really, I think this is what I paint the most. Flowers, nature and a bit landscape. I think I really would like to have another subject for painting, which is maybe a bit more interesting, or I really admire those artists who express more feelings or more political aspects or something like this in art. With the slogan, "Find love in creation," I also refer a lot to nature and creating something inspired by nature. This is, yeah, I really think this is something like my comfort zone. But yeah, there are a lot more things in this creation. We humans, with everything that concerns us, and also the side of creation which isn't always beautiful but also painful. Not only the sunny side of life. I'm really questioning myself how I, as an artist, could express more of this side also, and that even in the dark times and even in the dark things we have in our lives, there's light and hope. And I think this would be a message of my art, but it's so difficult to find how to express this. I think life is always a journey, and also is art and your own expression. But it is also a difficult thing to accept those sides and to paint it and know how you would express it. And this is definitely a thing I want to find out more. And obviously one of my main inspirations is also Lumi, our dog. How to find the time to squeeze in art with a busy schedule. The truth is, because of a busy schedule, it is so difficult. I really have to say, if you are working another job, if you have other humans or family living with you, if you have friends and other hobbies, or you want to do sports, it simply is the truth that it is difficult. I luckily have a job with very fluent times. In some weeks I work a lot more than the average hours, more than full-time, let's say it, and in other weeks I work less. For me it really depends on that, and therefore I am also not capable to upload consistently, which bothers me a lot, but yeah, it is as it is. I really would recommend routines and rituals, but yeah, I have to say I am not this person. Maybe a routine for me works for 1 week and then it goes away. But if you are not like this, I think it would be very good to have an art habit, maybe in the mornings, in the evenings, whatever you like. This isn't working for me, but this would be my dream, but no. I really depend on those times and moments when I feel creative and when I feel inspired to do something. If not, I simply don't. And that's okay. It is the most important thing that this doesn't discourages you, and that every time you make even a little bit, you draw a little bit, or even if it is a flower in your notebook, then to be happy that there was a spark of creativity. Don't judge yourself if you haven't got the time or the energy or whatever. I mean, we all have busy lives and a busy schedule, and so let's enjoy the moments that are really inspiring. And maybe sometimes it's also good to force yourself to take out a pen or your watercolor. Yeah, this also can be a thing. If you really don't feel like it, do it. I don't know. Normally for me, I find that's a really good thing to do for my soul. What are your art goals? Do you think it's important to have them? What dreams do you have for your art, if any? Yes, I have many dreams. And I really think that is the best thing you can do, dream about how you would like your life to be, and in which place do you want to be in, let's say, a year or some years. And this happened to me with this creative project here on YouTube. My plans for the future concerning my art, it is I really want to learn more about colors, color combination, color effects, and color mixing. The practical skills, I think. The second thing is I really want to learn oil painting. I always struggled to the autodidactic side of oil painting. I don't know why, but I think it's not so self-explaining like other media. I even looked out for a course offer here in our town and nearby. I haven't found anything yet. And maybe do you have a recommendation for an online course or free resources that I could use? And the third thing, I want to discover what are the things I find interest to discover, what are the things I like to paint. I am not a person who likes to decide between things. I always want to do everything all at once, and for me it's so difficult also to decide if I want to illustrate things or if I want to be more like a fine artist. Questions I'm carrying with me, but I haven't found the answers yet, and maybe it isn't even necessary to find the exact answers. And yeah, go on trying and experimenting, discovering new things. Where do you find your art supplies? I buy them in a local store nearby and also online. I also looked on a secondhand platform and got my Sennelier oil pastels there. It's always worth a try, I think. Okay, let's go to the questions about YouTube. How has having a YouTube channel helped your artistic journey? Okay, let's say I've always wanted to start a YouTube channel. I also have more than one idea for channels. I really like how versatile doing videos is, because I can express myself creatively in video making, editing the videos, making cute illustrations for the edit, the painting itself, the creative expression in what I am filming, capturing the beauty of nature, for example. And another thing I'm really interested in is a more poetic expression. Obviously in English it's so difficult, but I sometimes also write poetry slams in German. Everything which has to do with video making helped me grow on this creative journey, because it's like a unit of all those creative expressions. This is what I really love about YouTube, how versatile it is. In this discussion, if art YouTubers are artists or creators, I have to admit I understand the question and the struggle, but for me it has never been a thing of choice or a decision I have to make, because it's all a big expression. And I have to say that making those videos helped me a lot to get consistent and to make the time to paint a bit. I made the time to paint, and I made the time to express myself. I made the time to film a lot of beauty that I found in my day-to-day life. So it helped me a lot to be more mindful about everything around. Why do you do your videos in English? It was a conscious decision to do videos in English. I think I would be so much better expressing myself in German or Spanish, but with English I wanted to really reach people all over the world on every continent and connect with those people, and not only get limited to an audience which speaks German, because I always like to expand my horizon or something like this and get to know people from other places, other countries and cultures. In this way to contribute to a thinking that we are all one world, all connected to each other. I personally love to see how artists all over the world are living and working and in their contexts. So yeah, I wanted to do a thing that contributes to this, to those international relations. Is your name inspired by the series Pingu? No, not exactly, but I have to admit that I really love this series, and I also watched it when I was a child. And really, my channel name is really only inspired by my love for penguins. Penguins are my favorite animals, beside dogs, since I went to Chile and saw them there. Which leads me to the next question. Where did you and your husband meet? The story we met was one of those stories one could not believe, that you have to travel around the world to meet. My husband and I met in Chile. After my graduation of school, I went to Chile with an organization to work. I did voluntary work in a community center and a congregation in Chile, and there we met. What do you do as your day job? After working abroad in Chile, I studied Protestant theology in Germany, and yeah, in this I'm working now. You look like you've done different crafts in the past. What were some of those and what were your favorites? Everything. But I really love the whole planning community, planners, journaling and scrapbooking. Another favorite hobby of mine is Bible art journaling, and I also liked crochet or sewing with my grandmother's machine. What are some of your favorite books? For this question we have to head over to our bookshelves. This is not about art books, this is something for another video. Hello there! So yesterday I bought new shelves for our living room, and now we finally organize our books in another way.
I wonder if you found what you're looking for. Wonder if you found what you're looking for. I hope it's not too late. I want you back here with me. We never should have said it's better this way. I'd rather be with you than someone I don't know. Now it's like we're living in two separate worlds. Come on back to me, say that you won't go. I can't cope without you and I wanna hold you close. Say that you won't go. that you won't go. It's been so cold without you here. We barely said goodbye before you disappeared. It's been so cold without
We are ready! Yay! This turned out so beautiful. I'm really happy with this. And it's another proof that second-hand things are the best. We have the children books, German literature section. Here we have literature in Spanish, DVDs, and philosophy, travel, cooking books, biographies. So I'll show you a few of my favorite books. I really like everything of the author Astrid Lindgren. The kids book section. I really enjoyed reading. I think it's called Inkheart in English, from Cornelia Funke. One book I think I borrowed to someone and it has never returned is The Penguin of My Life. A story where a professor found a little penguin in an environment catastrophe and he takes him home, and yeah, it's a love story between a human and a penguin. So cute. Another favorite book of mine is this one. It's about a man who is questioning God because his daughter was murdered, and in a weekend in a hut he meets with God, who is 3 persons, and God is a black woman, and they talk about life and the question why suffering even happens. Another book I really enjoyed, and I think I read it 2 times already, is the book Momo, de Michael Ende. The book we read in school was Holes. Another one I really loved, I read it when I was younger, by Jostein Gaarder. Yeah, and it's one of the most beautiful love novels with philosophical thoughts that I've ever read. Yeah, I really loved it. I would like to hear from you, which creative projects are you working on at the moment? And yeah, see you in the next video. Goodbye, Liebe!